All right, so I think we're live. We're
Live.
live, and we got coffee. We lack cigars, Mitch.
Cheers.
We lack cigars, but we have coffee. Cheers. Good morning to you. Guys, welcome to the show, the F5 Report, Faith, Family, Fitness, Friends, and Finances. Appreciate you guys joining us this morning. I'm here with my good buddy, Mitch Gorshin. And Mitch has an awesome story. I know it's going to be fun to have him share it with you guys. This is posted to a couple local groups as well. So, it's an interesting. Mitch has an amazing way to bring community together, do business at the same time, kind of make a lot of friends and keep them all in your tribe. So we're going to talk a little bit about that today. But without further ado, welcome to the show, my man, Mitch Gorshin. How are you, Mitch?
I'm excellent. This is great. Good morning, everybody. Good morning.
Awesome.
Joe, you're always so vibrant in the morning. You're very vibrant.
I don't know about that, man. I don't know about that. I slept in a little bit this morning. I don't know about vibrant.
I encourage that.
Listen, I'll take vibrant. That's a good descriptor, I guess, for me, maybe. But Mitch, for those of you, for those that are watching that maybe don't know you, I can't believe there's very, very many of them. But tell the folks a little bit about your businesses, the Trading Post, the Ends of the Earth, the setup. I think it's amazing. We'll get into it a little bit, but just to kind of once over about what you got going on.
Sure. Look, I was born into this entertainment family, and entertainment and all that has been a big part of my life. I ended up in South Jersey because a friend of mine was the CEO at Revel in Atlantic City. Mitch, you need some work, help on the inside and so forth. Come on up here, move up here. So I didn't have any long-term plans to move to, moving to South Jersey. So we found Haddonfield. We love the town. We got great people here, and I was commuting back and forth to Atlantic City. A long time ago, I did a lot of work for Marriott, and I still continue to do work for Marriott, conceptual development and whatnot on new hotels around the world. And a colleague of mine who was in charge of Europe at the time, he told me about a business that his wife and father-in-law had in London, and it was a little shoe store. It's a little family shoe store, and for kids, for the school, for grandma, it's a little place, the cobbler. And I always thought, well, here you are, this EVP of Marriott, and you got this little cool store that's running. That seems like a really neat kind of balance, to have when the hotel stuff isn't jamming, the store's a little engine it could just keeps chugging along, serving the community and all that stuff. And that's where we ended up at Trading Post, Gorshin Trading Post, which we 6 years here on Kings Highway. Love the store, great customers. They still come into our store now. But we focused on cigars there, and working in the hotel business, I knew they were missing a component, especially guys who, stay at Ritz and Four Seasons and, they spend $800, $900 a night for a room. They finish the day. They want to have a cigar. They want to have a scotch, and there's nowhere to go. They point them 25 feet away from the building. So I said, there's got to be a better way to do this. So that's where this whole exploration and cigars and all that stuff came into play. It's my little engine that could, like the cobbler in London, but I also do lots of hotel work and entertainment work as well. That's the main thing.
Dude, I love it. It's funny. I do these interviews with I consider you a good friend. I do these interviews with people that I've known for years, and I learn stuff from these interviews, which I think is awesome. I knew you were involved with the Rebel, obviously. I knew that. That thing was just. Design on that was unbelievable. It was revolutionary for when it came out of the ground. But I never knew that work actually physically brought you here. I never knew what's that word? Yeah, that's what got you to move to town. So that's cool. I didn't realize that.
Yeah, now, New Jersey wasn't on the radar, but here it is, and I love it here.
Yeah. Awesome. And so now you have this club, which is one of my favorite spots. Obviously, I tape videos from there every once in a while. People can see the background, the brick walls, the history of the place. Tell us a little bit about, because your background in this design, like you say, you shaped the story. I think that's the most interesting piece, right? You go to this club. The club has a story. It kind of like breathes. It's changing when you go in there each time, and you're kind of laying the. That's what I think makes it so interesting. Not only is it great for being around the community, socializing with friends. Right. The lack of the digital, the whole thing. Tell people about the experience that you're trying to create inside that environment.
Absolutely. Look, I come from an entertainment background. So to me, I look at everything starts with a script. You don't make an award-winning film just by laying out a camera, tell your buddy to stand in front of it and do something and hope you get an Academy Award. It doesn't. It all starts with a script. It's that guiding light that everybody has to follow, from costume design to directing to acting. Everybody knows the story they're out to tell. So you want to create a compelling story. And that goes for all of the hotels that I work on, for the theme parks, the rides, attractions, and all that stuff, including my little store called Ends of the Earth. Quick snapshot on that. Ends of the Earth was a real club in New York City in 1903. The president of the club was Rudyard Kipling, who wrote famous books like Jungle Book. Mark Twain was in it. Gutzon Borglum, who was the sculptor of Mount Rushmore, General Admiral Pershing, and all these like amazing people who did amazing things. But they got together at this club where they could enjoy their meerschaum pipe or smoke a cigar and have a scotch or a brandy. And just by the act of smoking, it leveled the playing field that everybody wasn't equal. So that's the real hook of what this place is. You know, we're not technology savvy in there. You know, I call it a delightfully analog, the experience. Ends of the Earth for us in Haddonfield has two sides. There's a public side, which is our great store. It was an old stable here in the 1700s in Haddonfield, where they used to keep a couple of horses with a hayloft and so forth. And our club side is actually an old carriage house. Mechanic Street was the transportation hub of where this is. And it's hidden in plain sight. It's just a nondescript door that's there. But our membership is outstanding. And we hold true to the original story. Good fellows with no axes to grind was the motto. Mm-hmm. You know, hang out and they get into stuff, but then they'd say, have a great day. I'll see you later.
I think that's, and obviously I think that's a part of what makes it special. You know, there's a lot of cigar clubs come and go. You know, there's a lot of different ways to meet up and smoke a cigar and have a scotch. But this is interesting because of the story, because of the background, because of the, you know, you feel like you're part of it while you're in the room, and also the people, you know, the piece that's, you know, delightfully analog, right? Like you got some guys that'll go in there to work, but they're going to stop to have a conversation. They're going to talk to each other, to engage, which I think is, you know, is so not 2020, right? But like it brings you back to being present, which I think we all need so much. And I think that's, you know, in a way, it's kind of what is happening now, that we're all forced to social distance and slow down and regroup. Do you feel like we might be getting back, you know, could potentially get back to that way of life a little bit after this?
I think it never goes away. You know, I think as the, you know, part of the human condition, we want to go exchange ideas. We want to, you know, what's going on, what's happening with the family, what's happening with work. You know, we want to have that connection. We use technology as an act of convenience. You know, like, look here, you and I being able to chit chat and be able to share it with others, but it never replaces the interfacing that you and I will have just sitting there and just, you know, shooting the breeze. There's something about it. Well, you get I feed the energy off you, you know, and it's like, okay, here's what's going on with Joe and stuff, which you never get on a digital platform. So I always think it's there. It's evergreen. It has a forever shelf life. You know, this is notion of communication.
So tell me a little bit. I mean, this is very well thought out. It works, obviously. So can you help folks that are trying to maybe build a tribe or build a following? You know, you created a story, a brand, you know, a setup to where the people that are engaged with you, they're going to follow you. They're your tribe now, right? They understand the mission. They understand the story. Can you help folks that are having a hard time trying to maybe create that social outreach or, you know, community within their business, branding type of thing? I mean, you're a branding expert. What kind of little maybe some secrets to building that brand that goes into the front end, like you said, writing the story?
Well, you know, a big part of you know, the creative process, you know, for me is, you know, there are no bad ideas. Okay. So when you're sitting and you're having a blue sky session and you're saying, okay, you know, we got a house, you know, what are we going to do with this thing? You know, a lot of people, it's easy just to kind of like somebody will, you know, you'll say, okay, we could sell this as we've got a couple of, you know, bedrooms upstairs. We got a kitchen. There's a, you know, the great room over here. And, you know, how about down and you really think about it, craft a story around the product that you're about to sell. And then when you chat with your colleagues, somebody may say an idea that's completely in your mind, you're going, that's really stupid. There's no way I want to do that. But I call it appreciative inquiry. Okay, cool idea. Not so much for right now, but let's park that over here and kind of, get people to get into the game. And I think if you prove yourself to be a good listener and to really entertain what people have, it begins to build this sense of, we have the same spirit to go and do something. We have all different approaches. But when people have that openness that they can have with you, they tend to want to come back to you, and include you and say, hey, what do you think about this? And I think that begins to build that close network of friends around you, engage with everybody. Always start with a story. I don't care what the product is. If you bend a story, in a proper way, you're authentic. Everything has more equity. Everything has more value. Everything is just like, wow, that is something. For the smallest thing to the biggest thing.
I think that advice is so parallel to if you rewound that last 30 seconds and replayed it as a leader of any business. I think that advice goes both ways, right? If you're trying to build a brand or you're trying to build a team, right? Having a great story to be able to forecast where you want to take the team, listening, being open to advice. My buddy Judge Graham says the best way to solve a problem is to think about the solution no one's ever thought about before, right? Just becoming, completely detached from what normal people think and start thinking outside that completely outside the box. I think that's also interesting for what you're saying is building the brand, coming up with creative ideas that maybe someone hasn't thought about before. Like when you stick a piece of furniture in ends of the earth and everyone's kind of scratches their head and then they're like, man, this kind of works, right? It's like you're building that story, you're building that
Sure.
way of telling your story, right?
And it can come across in all kinds of things, in audio cues and smells and sounds and in furnishing, sight lines and all of that. I think what's important for a lot of people to consider, and I don't think a lot of people do this, really good people do. When I approach a hotel, Marriott comes to me and says, look, we're going to build a JW Marriott in Dubai. All right. Want you to come and help us. How do we make ourselves different than the Four Seasons, than the Hyatt, than the Intercom? Other than, we got a bigger living room or we have more beds. How do we create a story around it? I always start with, okay, let's identify what you guys consider as the touchdown, the home run, the Stanley Cup. When do you reach into the fridge, pull out the champagne, pop the corks and go, holy crap, we did it.
Yeah.
Know what your end game is, what we're looking for. And then you start with that and then begin to reverse engineer. How do we get to that? It gives you a goal, and it's not just open-ended. Well, we got to make this better. For what? What are we trying to do?
Again, so powerful, man. No, I mean, it sounds, I think the problem with a lot of these things, Mitch, is like, it's easier said than done, right? It's like, oh yeah, I do that. It's just like people writing down goals or, trying to decide where they want to take their business. I think if you ask 90% of people who run a business right now, they don't know the end goal. They don't know what they're trying to accomplish. Like they have this gray vision of what they'd love to have, but they don't actually ever storyboard it or lay it down into a reasonable way to reverse engineer into that thing, right? So, I think it's super interesting.
A lot of it, it lays back to what you always, instill into people is about how to navigate, how to roadmap, how to, carve a path and all that stuff. And from a creative standpoint, you always start, okay, what's the final movie going to look like? What's the ride going to be like when we open the doors? What do we have a very distinct end game. A lot of people are like, I think in a lot of different worlds that I'm involved with just because of the friends of mine. Everybody says, well, I want to be doing more business. I need to make more money. I want to have a bigger house. I want to have more cars and all that stuff. And that's not like an end game. That's, things that you want to have, but where are you going with all this? We can have, and that's what I think people you have to define. For me, it's dabbling in the things that I love. It's in entertainment, design, and camaraderie and friendship. If you look at the connection of what I do, did with the Walt Disney Company and with Marriott and Hilton, and my little cigar world, it's all of those things. So I'm content. It's like good. We can grow here and there, but for the most part, this is outstanding.
How has COVID forced you to change a little bit? I know you've made some moves during this last couple of weeks. Obviously it's a live social club.
Sure.
What have you done to get through this?
Well, the first part that's been difficult is my wife Maria. She works a little bit up at Bergdorf Goodman's in Manhattan. She was there until the last days, until they finally closed her door. Her mother lives up in Manhattan, so she actually stayed up there for the duration. I'm actually going to pick her up tomorrow. She's been gone for 6 weeks, so she's been up there. I've been here, so we've just been telecommunicating and so forth. But what's interesting is our store. We have tobacco products, we have food items, we have cocktail mixers, drinks, soaps, amenities. Cleansers and things like that. We really follow into a what they call the convenience store model. So we're proving to be that, yes, we can in fact stay open. The club, it's what's interesting about a club is we're very limited membership. We have 43 members. Everybody is going about their schedules, doing their work, doing their home life and all that stuff. So never is anybody all there at once. We generally have just a couple of people that come by, exercise their social distancing. They sit in various spaces, and our environment is super clean. Plus our air exchange is continuous. We have fresh air all the time. All the hardware and everything is Lysol, but it's extra work, but it makes a great environment where you walk in, you're like, I feel good. Yeah. This is great. I feel comfortable and safe here.
Yeah, it's a great environment. I mean, you're doubling down on the cleanliness procedures. I can attest to that with the sanitizer and the wipes and everything else, which is awesome. And business on the store side has been steady. You're still getting people coming in, picking up their needs for. I know you're selling cigars because I see cigars going out the door every day. But people are coming in and supporting the shop, right?
Yeah. Absolutely. Awesome. It's funny. I've had everybody's home. They're home. I can't leave. I got to go sit by the fire pit. What do I want to do by the fire pit? I'm going to go have the cigar and the scotch. So
what else is there to do by a fire pit? That's
what I'm doing.
Awesome. So Mitch, tell us what's the most popular cigar going on? What's everybody's favorite right now? What's a good stick?
It's such a mix. We have just a couple left. A really unique cigar. It's a limited edition Davidoff cigar. Every year for the last 8 years, they've done a special cigar based off the Chinese zodiac. This one is the year of the rat. It's a 10 cigar box. It's an expensive stick. It's $60 a stick. However, it's a good smoke. You can buy a $15 bottle of champagne. You can buy Dom. It's a good smoke, but you want to have your half-hour commitment. Nobody talk to me. I'm getting busy. So, and then outside of that, we have our classics that always go. The Monte Cristos, of course, AJ Fernandez, and there's a good mix there. We'll be getting new inventory in next week because sales have actually been robust. So I got to reload. But we got something for you, and we'll be happy to walk you through. If you haven't smoked before, think, well, gee, my boss and his boss, they smoke cigars, and they like to play golf. I don't smoke. Come on down. We'll give you a little, we'll tell you how to mix it up with that.
And one of the things, for those of you that are watching, especially those that are local, the thing I love about Mitch is I do a lot of gifting. So, Mitch will put together a great, set of cutter, a lighter, a case of smokes, humidor stuff. There's so much great stuff. If you haven't stepped foot inside the ends of the earth and the Trading Post, you got to go check them out. They're right on Tanner Street in Haddonfield, right? Mitch, how can people find you? Can people find you online? You don't want to be online, right? You want them all coming in person.
Yeah, it's really we want you to come to the place. However, to stay abreast of what we're doing there. Instagram is our platform, Ends of the Earth Cigars. That's where we're always doing stuff on a daily basis. But the new website is in works now, and it'll probably be another couple of weeks. But then we'll have something cool for you.
Fantastic. Fantastic. And is there so people can follow you on Instagram, Ends of the Earth Cigars, and then message Mitch. You know, Mitch, you also ship all over the world, right?
Yeah, we can absolutely do that. You know, whatever you want. In fact, speaking of gift baskets, Joe has made some of the most creative gift baskets over the course of the years, and they're always a thrill to make because they have so many different things. Because he's what he's physically doing. He's asking me to say, "Here's a guy I know. You know, here's his story. Here's what he likes. This is who he has. Make it happen." And it's like, oh, okay, this is great. You know, let's start piecing stuff together. So it's great fun. And Joe, it's been an honor knowing you for the last 7 years or whatever it's been. You know, and
I appreciate that, man. I appreciate that.
Cool, dude.
I mean, look, you make it sound like I do work. Here's the thing. On the gift basket stuff, this is my favorite piece, by the way. For those of you that love to gift, I'm telling you that for the lazy gifter who wants cool gifts, like I love gifting. I love sending people stuff, but I'm terrible at figuring out what it is to send. So I'll call Mitch and say, you know, I have a guy. This is what he likes. This is what he's into. This is his hobbies on the nights and weekends, what he does after work, what he does for work. You know, just give him like 4 or 5 bullet points, and it's like, bam, I got this, you know, basket with treats and cigars and, you know, snacks and men's products. And I mean, this store, I mean, you know, I can't say enough cool stuff about it. You go in there. What's that?
And you had me put in a leather briefcase.
Leather briefcase at some point. We got leather goods. We got shoes. We got clothing. I mean, there's so much cool stuff in a small store. Like I love going in there because everything's unique. You know, it's really, really hard to. You're not going to go in there and find most of the stuff in your store isn't available on Amazon, right? This is all stuff you're sourcing direct. It's very unique, very different, and for that, it stands out, and that's what makes it special. So,
cool,
Mitch. I want to be respectful of your time this morning. Anything I forgot to ask?
No, this is I feel like I'm just hanging out with you.
Same here, man.
Yeah, I just started a new hotel project up in Vermont. I just kicked off right now, and it's all story driven. It's a family that's been around in business for 75 years. They wanted to get out of the restaurant business, but they wanted to open up a hotel. So I'm taking the whole tradition, heritage, legend, and weaving it into a hotel experience. So that's pretty. I'm
sure it'll end up as just like the rest of your portfolio. It'll be amazing stuff and amazing experience for the people that visit. So I appreciate you being on the show, man. Thank you so much for joining us.
My absolute pleasure, Joe. I'll see you around the village.
Absolutely. Folks, if you care about this show, if it makes sense to you, if you find value in it, all we ask you to do, share it with your friends, send them a message, send them a text, you know, put it in the carrier pigeon, you know, have it sent over that way. But everyone check out the show and leave your comments below. Mitch Gorshin, thanks, man.
You got it. See you later, Joe.
Later.
Have a good day.